Shannon County, southern Missouri. The beginning of a new day. These are the rectors, Martha and Jim. They will spend their day working in the timber. Ray Hicks. He too makes his living working in the timber. But he's also the county's last practitioner of a dying art.
Go on, Mac, and get that cow. Hurry in.
Freeman Hughes. He's 83.
How you get on down in there?
Freeman is one of the county's most successful farmers. He is also a strong-minded, outspoken citizen.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
And running for re-election.
I'm Danny Staples, your state representative, and how are you, sir? Good to see you.
I know who you
Oh,
are.
sure. Take care of yourself. Hello there.
Hello.
What do you say, fella?
Much. How are you,
Fine.
Dan?
You working hard?
Yeah, pretty hard.
Pretty hard.
Yeah. Not any harder than I have to.
Oh, well, hang in there.
Are you going to work, or are you going to vote?
I'm going to work.
Going to work,
Come on, let's get some canoes.
Yeah, get some more out of the trailer right back there.
Wendy Smith. Like the others, his family has lived here for generations. Wendy was a carpenter in St. Louis for a while before returning home. He now makes his living from the increasing numbers of tourists. Claude Tremond,
It's a country airport.
a wealthy industrialist from St. Louis. And Claude Tremond's personal jet. Tremond came to hunt and fish and relax. Then he brought one of his factories with him.
We're going out over Charlie Cooper's place, and then we'll be back over there in land. There's the Ozarks for you.
The Ozarks, one of the most beautiful regions of the United States. But for 3/4 of a century, one of the poorest. Isolated by the hills, the early settlers lived off the land, needing little from the outside world. With the 20th century, industrial timbering came in upon a frontier people. But the boom times were short-lived, and when they were over, the people remained, retaining much of their old traditional culture. That culture is still there, quaint now because it's true to its past. A past we once all lived. In these people, we can see our old selves.
The way they make a living was just so foreign to us, you know, like heating with wood or working with wood. like Bill knows how to work with wood, but as far as, you know, going out in the woods and using mules and all that to us was something that people did a long time ago, not anymore. You know, it was really a different reality.
We knew that they had a lot to teach us, and we went out with that attitude. And if you do that anywhere with anybody, you know.
Bill and Betty Burns came from Chicago in 1968 to get back to the land.
And we did have an awful lot to learn, because we were straight out of the city, and I thought I knew a little bit about, you know, being back in the country, but not a thing when it came down to it.
They have built a home and put down roots.
Michael, what about this deer you shot at?
Late November, the deer hunt. A rite of autumn in Shannon County.
What grade you in? Sixth graders had a game?
God, them things looks drawed up to me. Are they done?
The meal today is squirrel.
People, bud. What you want a young roastable bud?
Yeah.
All right, I'll try that. About 12. Charlie and Coach and Bob will. Jimmy will hunt squirrels if we can, just so we'd be sure to have something to eat. Glad you got here in time for squirrels.
Like eating rats. A lot more people in this country now, coming and going.
Up in the river there.
You could float these rivers a week at a time, and you might see 2 or 3 fishermen a week's float. And now you see 500 a day.
You think it's good for the county or bad?
Well, it brings a lot of money in. As far as privacy that we used to have, we don't have it anymore like we did then.
It's pretty hard to go back to the old times, you know.
The Rectors are one of about 100 families that still make their living working in the timber.
We have worked in the woods all of our life. Jimmy and me has. When I was a girl, before I was ever married, I worked in the woods. And he's worked ever since he's about 12 years old, made ties, hewed them out with a broadaxe.
All my dad ever done, worked in the timber. And just one of us kids got big enough to work, we went out with him, went to work with him. And we just got started on it. And all of us is timber workers. There's 6 boys and 3 girls.
You always work together?
Yeah. We're pals and partners, man and wife, and buddies. That's the thing we can do together and the thing we like to do together. And what's the use of him spending his time out here and my time at home? And it's just the 2 of us, why not? And it was much of a house cat.
Now, boys, this is conserving energy. This is old posts that have rotted off and hauled in and made up into cookwood.
Why do you still cook on a wood stove?
Well, I'm not very much of a hand for change. I don't like to see things change too much. And I have 500 acres of timber here. And a man's a damn fool to pay for electricity when he can go out and cut his wood. It's falling down rotting on.
When did you get that stove?
I got it somewhere between 34 and 40. I don't know what year it was. And it cost, as I recall, about $85. And I can remember the shipping weight on it is 485 pounds crated. I can remember that, because I had to carry it about as far as from here at the creek after we got it home. When we bought it, we were poor. We didn't have a lot of money, practically no money. And I told my wife, I said, now you go ahead and pick out the kind of cook stove you want, because I said it might cost you $15 or $20 more to get the kinds you want, but I said, you likely use it for 20 years. Well, we've used it for over 40. I said, the extra cost won't amount to anything. And I still feel like it's pretty good advice.
Yeah, these people live down here all their lives, and they know what they're doing as far as how to do it and everything. And of course, we came down, and you have to adapt to local ways to get anywhere. One thing we did, we brought, we came down, built the house, and wired the whole thing. We were told that how low we're going to put our electric in, so we bought it in the spring, and we were going to come down in the summer. We left a note and talked to him and said, here's where we want the pole, And we figured, well, we'd come down, and the electric would be in, we'd build the house.
Well, come on around.
And it was over a year before the house was, the electricity even came in. We wired the house, had an air conditioner sitting in there, all the plugs and stuff, and for a year we had kerosene lamps, which we didn't even know about Aladdin lamps.
We learned a lot of patience. We learned that things do not happen quickly. When you're in the city, if you want your electricity hooked up, it gets hooked up quickly. Everything. We learned not to expect things to happen quickly. If you want something done, you ask whoever is capable of doing it to help you, and then you expect to wait quite a while, because people are not in a hurry. And we ourselves are slowed down accordingly.
The making of a fishing gig is a good symbol for the best of the old ways. Slow, careful craftsmanship, resulting in something useful and beautiful as well. In the fall and winter, the river belongs to those who live here. It's a place of solitude. But in the summer...
Hey, Ed, let them take their van on down there under the bridge and park it. That way it'll lighten the traffic here. We're going to get jammed up here in a little bit. He's ready to go there in the van whenever you all are. Now then, I've got two more groups in here on the list.
So you just keep paddling, drink your beer.
I heard all about those.
Have you heard all about those?
Stapleton gets cushions.
Half and half.
Half and half. Five cushions, five jacks. When you all get to Two Rivers, there's a log cabin concession stand on the bank to the right. There's a pay phone. You go up there, take a dime, and dial our number first, and let us answer, and then put your dime in. Okay. These phones are backwards to the city. You lose your dime if you don't.
Hey, Joe, you don't need paddles. You don't need paddles.
That's one of our major tourist things, is the canoe rental business. It brings, I don't know how many people, but there's about 2,500 canoes around here goes in the water on a Saturday morning. And I think the town of Eminence is going along better with it. Now, at first they didn't. They rejected the flood of tourists that come in here.
I'd say probably tourism is one of our big businesses now in the area. Brings a lot of money in, makes a lot of business.
It's bringing a lot of money, but actually, to benefit everybody, it's not doing it right now.
You'd like to see something come in here that keep the kids around?
I would. Actually, that's something we need. I don't know what it would take.
Our factories have kept a few of the girls home, don't you think?
You think things are going to change much in Shannon County in the future?
If the mining opens up, I think it will.
Yeah, I'd say it'd have to be mining to bring about much more change. If it develops, we'll see a lot more activity, year-round activity.
Just outside Shannon County are 9 great lead mines.
Well, 85% of all the lead produced in the United States is produced here in Missouri. This country, while we produce a lot of lead, we don't produce all we need. We have to import some lead. And this is why that there are now 15 major mining companies down in Shannon County searching for additional minerals. Right now there is a worldwide shortage of lead, and this is brought on a great deal by the fact that some of the underdeveloped countries in the world are now getting automobiles. Russia is buying a lot of lead on the world market, which they have not done in the past. And if our civilization is to continue to advance, as it is in our standard of living, as it is in some of the underdeveloped countries, there's going to be increasing needs for more minerals, because this is how civilization advances.
Come on, Kate. Get back! Hey, get up here. Don't get the mule, please.
No, don't get that mule. When you get your cane growed, why, you strip all the leaves off of it, cut it and top it, and bring it to the mill, and then you feed it through this mill, and your juice runs out into this barrel, and then you pan, and you got 3 cookings of it before it goes into molasses.
You see right here? This is molasses right here. And it's coming out here in this bucket, right here where this boy is raking it. See right there is your finished product, right there.
What was it like in the old days? Did everybody do this?
Yes, sir. Everybody done it. Everybody had a sorghum patch and made sorghum anywhere from 50 to 100 gallons. And that's what we lived on. Cornbread and sorghum molasses and butter, wasn't it? And they'd have what they called a taffy pulling. Cooked that down, made sorghum molasses candy. And the boys would go to see the girls, and they'd have a pocket full of that, and they'd eat that sorghum, wouldn't they?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
God, we were telling you the truth. You're going to find
Back in the good old days.
they are.
How come you don't make it anymore? If it used to be, you know, so much fun and a social event.
Oh, they just quit. People now don't work like they used to. There's a lot smarter work involved with this outfit.
Do you make this every year?
No, sir. And I doubt if I ever do it again.
How come?
Huh?
How come?
I just don't want to. The best answer I can tell you.
Brown's Cafe is a nighttime hangout for some of the county's teenagers. Why do you like Shannon County?
Not too many people. I just don't like to be around a bunch of people. Plays fish and hunt around here, and they ain't out in big cities.
What do you think of it here?
I like it.
You don't to live here? You out of school?
Probably not.
How come?
Want to get a good job.
Are you going to stick around here?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Carpenter. Try.
How come you think you can make a living as a carpenter around here? It seems like everyone we've talked to is a carpenter of some kind.
Well, that's what my dad's done all his life. I figured if he can make a living, I can too.
Do many kids still get out of school and work in the timber?
No.
There are 3 small factories in Shannon County, and nearly all of the employees are women. So the girls find it easier to get a job here than the boys.
Yeah, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Worship God. He's got every corner and he's got all over the world. I know God is God. And God don't ever change. I know God is God. And he always will be God. He's got me behind his back. He's got me on the road. He's got me in heaven and he's got me on my soul. I know God is God. God don't ever change. I know God is God. And he always will be God. He's got it out in Alabama, he's got it in Tennessee, he's got right here in Branson, and he's got all over me. I know God is God. God don't ever change. I know God is God. And he always will be God. Woo!
My grandmother went, my mother's went. I have gone all my life. It's something that Pentecostal women, when they go into church, they believe that their children should be brought up in church, taught to believe the way they believe. And it's went back generation after generation. Back in my family, I know that they were all Pentecostal, and even the ones that don't go to church or even go to other churches, still deep down inside them they believe this way, but maybe they're not around here where they can go to a church like this. You get in the cities, there's not the country church anymore.
Have any one of you ever thought of leaving the area?
Yeah, I've thought of it. Yeah, me too. Around here, most girls, they grow up and they get married. They don't go on and have any education because they have to leave here. And most of them don't like to do that. They like to stay around here. The only jobs around here for women is the factories, like in Eminence and Winona. You can work in cafes, but they don't pay enough. Without, for like a young girl, a summer job or something, that'd be fine. But somebody that's trying to make a living, it's just not enough.
Never a man spake like this man. The Lord is King of kings. He spoke to my troubled soul, and now my heart sings. He has brought
How long have people been gigging around here?
Well, as far as time's been, I guess. I mean, I'm 47 years old, and they was gigging when I was a little bitty boy, and then I've heard my father and grandfather talk about gigging. This is an Ellerman pitch gig that has been used in this country for years and years, and still in use. What of the few that is left, because he's not made them for the past 5 or 6 years. And you're very lucky to have one of them left. So that's why I don't use this one any more than I do. I just want to keep it for keepsake, more or less.
Is there a lot of craftsmanship going into those things?
Yeah, there's a lot of craftsmanship, and it takes lots of time to make a gig.
Only Ray Hicks still makes gigs in Shannon County in the traditional way. The master gig maker, Herb Ellerman, is dead, and his son Bill left for the city.
I helped Dad blacksmith for years and years, and he used to tell him, well, said, if he stays down here and helps me, why, said, I believe he'll make a good one, but said if he does like most of these young bucks and takes off for St. Louis, says I don't think he'll ever amount to anything. That's what I did. I went up there and went to work, and of course, once you get up there, then it's kind of hard to come back.
You miss it down here?
Yes, I miss it. I really like to come down and like this hunting. If I don't kill something, I really like to get out in the woods where it's quiet and sit, a while. I really like it. And I just love to go back to the old places where I was born and raised and see how much has changed in the last 30 years. We was by some of them yesterday, and well, these trees now that is about 8 or 10 inches through where the houses used to sit. And I mean, it gives me a strange feeling to go back to them places now. I'd like to live down here, but I kind of like it up there too because of the job and everything, so I guess I'll just have to stay up there till I retire anyway.
Well, you've been in the school board and Shannon's superintendent of schools. What do kids do here when they get out of high school?
Go to St. Louis, go to work, Springfield, leave here.
Most of them leave, unless
It's the only thing they can do.
few will take a job in the timber or in the mills. Not too much farming. Some businesses. So as they grow up, they leave. Make a home somewhere. Unless, like Bud said, you can get them started in business and stay here.
What do you boys plan to do when you get out of high school?
Go to college.
Will many in your class go to school?
I'd say about a fourth or half of them will go.
What'll the others do?
No telling.
Go to work for the Park Service.
Would y'all like to be able to stay here, come back here?
Yeah, but there's not too big a demand for civil engineers down here.
Not really too big a demand for anything here, if any. Kind of, specialties. Go lay that and done.
Last squirrel.
God, that looks good.
Who wants him?
I'll pass.
How close you get? You killed it.
Still got 2 or 3 left.
$1 on the ham. Anybody else? Hang 'em.
Mac, you got 2 shotgun rounds and turkey just go.
Let that big long dog and shoot.
Robert, don't give another turkey to your old gal.
Where you live at?
Eminence, Missouri. Hello, sir. How you doing? I'm Danny Staples. You're a state representative?
Hello. You're late. I just voted for you.
Well, good.
You're on the Democrat ticket?
Yes, sir, I am.
I'm a Republican, but I voted Democrat.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Although running unopposed, Danny Staples still greets his constituents on Election Day.
The only way you can campaign in a county like Shannon County is meet the people and knock on the doors. And this is the way that most of the candidates down here work. I like to do it, and I think people expect to see you on Election Day, and this is the reason I do it. Can you go in there and put that X by Danny Staples, will you? Right here.
Oh, mercy, that's great, Danny.
If you decide to burn something up, use those. I even got my picture on there.
Oh, boy.
Well, listen, Wayne, help you anyway, give me a call.
I know your number.
When I graduated from high school in 1952, there wasn't anything here to keep the young people here, so most of my classmates, you know, they migrated into the cities to find employment. Hello, sir, how are you?
All right.
I'm Danny Staples. This used to be one of my girlfriends a long time ago.
Oh, I thought Danny Staples was the cutest little thing that ever lived. I'll have her tell me about it someday.
Hello, Sheriff.
Danny, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Old Danny, he don't even know whether he's running against anybody, nothing. He's still campaigning.
Well,
campaigned 24 days.
As the old boy up in Eminence used to say, you got to keep your name as common as Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
What do you think the big economic changes are going to be for Shannon County in the future?
I think probably the lead industry will be one of the biggest things that can happen to Shannon County in the next few years. I think within 3 to 5 years from now, we'll see a lead mine somewhere in Shannon County, probably in the vicinity of Winona. I didn't get to shake hands with you. You were in there voting for me. And good to see you. And
Mrs. White.
We're ex-Coloradans. We came down here about 5 years, 6 years ago.
Well, I tell you what, we're glad to have people from all over the country here, and hope you like our area.
You think it'll bring an influx of people in?
Well, there's going to be an influx of people into Shannon County, with or without a lead mine. I think Shannon County is just beginning to start growing, and I think you're going to see a tremendous increase in population in all rural areas of Missouri within the next 10 or 15 years.
Just as the teens hang out at Brown's, Danny Staples, Wendy Smith, and other village elders hang out at Bob's Cafe.
Well, I went up there and to have dinner with them one day, and they had a coon and a hunk of bear meat and a deer ham laying on some coals, and son, it's black as the ground. You got any coffee money? Let's drink some coffee, and then I got to go look for some hounds.
I didn't know you were born and taking that stuff. I'm about not using that old cabin.
Today, Paul Falconberry, the mayor of Eminence, has the floor.
I can see some problems. I see them every day. The first thing we got to do as older folk, and we're going to have to convince and educate our younger people that we can't have the same kind of lives that we had when we were small, because those days are gone. We're living in a different day. Things have changed. We're in a tourist town here, whether we like it or not, because we had 1.5 million people already come through this country this last year, 78, according to National Park Service figures. 1.5 million people.
and we're just getting started. So what I can see in the future is going to be tourism. People are going to have to become accustomed to it, whether they like it or not. It's here, it's going to stay, it's not going to leave. The national park's going to be here, it's not going to leave. So we're going to have to learn not to fight this thing. We're going to have to join them people and see what we can come up with, because that is the way it is. There's no other way.
The Branson Strip, a narrow ridge 150 miles west of Shannon County. For millions of Americans, this is the Ozarks.
Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Plummer, and I'd like to welcome you to the Plummer Family Country Music Show here on a Tuesday night in good old Branson, Missouri.
Hey, don't let all them fancy duds fool you now, folks. I mean, he's still a hillbilly at heart. Yeah, he dresses up a lot, but I bet he's got on the raggediest underwear in this place now.
Oh. You probably know.
Yeah.
Ho there, ho! 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 Ho there, ho! 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 Good fellow. Well, he's not caught yet.
He is.
Oh, boy! I'm with you, my cool.
There we go. Just don't get in my way if he comes loose, huh? Turn him the other way, Dad.
Don't you wish you'd had that done a long time ago?
Charlie Cooper is a newcomer. He sold a valuable Iowa farm and came to the Ozarks. His new home, a 5,000-acre ranch, is just outside Shannon County.
We lived up in northwest Iowa, and it just gets colder than the devil in the wintertime, and I just started looking for something else, and we found this area down here, and we just fell in love with the area. So we bought a place at Pomona, 210 acres, and I give $27,500 for it, which the local people thought I gave a tremendous price for it. But at the same time, had a cousin at home that bought a new corn combine for more money than I paid for that 210 acres, and I got to thinking about that, and I thought anytime a person could buy 200 acres for less money than it cost to buy one combine, it had to be a pretty good deal. But I don't think a lot of people here really realized the potential of this ground. Of course, I realize it's got some rocks in it and so forth, and it's not flat and all that, but I just wake up every morning excited about things that can be done, because I know that, even though I'm getting a lot of production out of this ground and so forth, and there's a lot of things that, we haven't even scratched the surface on.
Charlie Cooper is at the leading edge of cattle breeding. Taking embryos from prize stock, he places them in common cows for gestation and birth. This way he increases his yield of quality calves dramatically. This procedure is called embryo implantation, and it's expensive. For each calf born, he must pay $500. There were 13 calves born out of the implants done this day, and he will repeat this procedure as many as 6 times a year.
Woo! Come on! Come on! Suck, 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 woo! Woo! Now let's sing out a whole lot different.
What Charlie Cooper is doing requires the sort of capital that Freeman Hughes could never have raised.
I'd like to place a credit card call. The credit card number is 275. I get a lot of friends that come from different parts of the country, and they see what we're trying to do here with the land and that, and they can see the opportunity just like that. So I think, the people that come from the outside and take a look at this and see the opportunities, then they're the one that's going to be putting up the money for whatever type of industry or agriculture or whatever.
Claude Treeman is one outsider who saw the opportunities. That's why he brought his factory here.
Charlie Cooper's house is right over the top of this one over there. It's to the east of that lake. You want to swing over and get close in on that factory?
Treeman hired Rick Moger, a Shannon County boy, to manage it.
One interview, and the first time I met Claude, within 30 minutes he'd hired me. Of course, haven't had time to regret it. It's super.
I moved pretty fast. Probably scared the heck out of a lot of people.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm really not moving into anything like we do in the city.
2 nights ago he called from Denver. It was 1:30 here. He was coming back into Mountain View and wanted me to make sure the hangar door was up and his rig was out so he wouldn't have to stop and get out of the jet.
Okay, Dick, we're getting ready to go into a landing. We don't really have a tower here, but we always kid about calling the Mountain View International Airport. Wouldn't this be a James Bond movie if there wasn't? Finito.
Claude Treeman's factory is 1 mile west of the Shannon County line. It makes coin change mechanisms that are shipped all over the world.
What made you bring one of your factories down here?
Well, I think that's part of falling in love with the town, just giving them some work. The town needs an infusion of money and industry and a few other things.
What does this place have to offer to industry?
Well, I think the biggest thing it has to offer is a good labor market and a very serene and nice climate for industrial climate for working.
This is one of the particular different varieties what we make. Here at Mountain View we'll do all the metal work, all the plastics will be done still in St. Louis and Puerto Rico. It's simply a coin acceptor that will accept a quarter, a dime, and a nickel, reject a penny. A particular one could go in a telephone or whatever. We hope it never fails. When Claude first came to there, he was, the acceptance is not what it is today. And still today, there's a lot of people I feel like they're afraid of Claude. I don't know whether they're afraid of Claude or what he represents. It's changed a lot now that they can visually see what he's going to do, because so many people in this area have said, I'm going to do this or that, and that's as far as it got, just in the talking stages. And he's actually, what he said he's going to do, he's done that and more.
Claude Treeman continues to do more. He is already doubling the size of his facilities here.
With this plant that we're going to build, we'll have electronic development, electronic assembly, electronic repair, electronic design. I suppose when we're through with it, we'll have 150, 200 jobs.
The aspect of the human or everyday great things about living in the Ozarks, the face-to-face contact and knowing people by name and rather than by number or just in another employ. Part of this part of the country is what's so great about it. And yet we can have that and have a thriving industry which ships parts to who knows where all over the world. And you know, some people think maybe you can't have this along with the old adage of just country living. Yet I see no reason you can't have it, and I think the blend is great.
And that's the big question. Can you have it both ways? Can you have factories in the quiet wilderness, corporate employment and individualism, innovation and tradition, so many new people, and the old sense of solitude?
You must like it.
Huh?
I say you must like
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah, I do. Because I'm my own boss. And if I want to sit down like this and rest, I ain't hurting nobody but myself, you see.
You think you're your own boss.
And if I'm working for the other man, you can't do that because you're hurting him. Of course, most usually all of them will give you a break through the run of the day. But working out here, well, you can work just however you want to work.
The rectors and their view of work may not return again.
Years ago, 25 years ago, this area was one of the poorer parts of the whole country. And I think that within 15 to 20 years, it's going to be the richest part of the state of Missouri, due to the fact that we'll have maybe we'll have a lead mine, and maybe we'll have I know we'll have tourism, and I think this area of the state is going to be full of Cadillacs. And I hope I'm fortunate enough to have one.
We've dreamed about it, like I said, a long time, but not until 6 years ago that we really made any money. Like I said, we'd get a few bucks now and then, but like I've said before, we just always dreamed of it, but we couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford to play music because at that time, times were really rough for us. And we'd go out and maybe once in a while somebody would give you something for playing, but most of the time it was just, you had to pay to play. Back around Knob Lake, we had the old school there where we had the pie suppers and box suppers. And it took gas money to get there and get back. And most of the time you got nothing out of it. You're just happy to go play. We loved to do it so much.
Okay, thank you.
Doors open at 7:30 if you'd like to come in early.
You know, some people complain about the traffic. It takes them 30 minutes to get downtown or something like that. But we never complain. If it wasn't for that traffic, we wouldn't be here.
Hey, we're going to have a little bluegrass music. This is one of the old time ones. Melody and Larry's going to do the picking on it. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
Did you know a lot of people in this area that were wanting to do what you did?
Hundreds.
Yes.
We sure do.
Some family or some group wanting
And
to.
some of them are much better than we are. We know it.
Oh.
That's why we feel so fortunate.
Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away, morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away.
Where stars shall never end, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Praise God, praise God.
The ways of the past cannot remain unchanged.
There was a time, a man come out here and get hold of enough money to buy him a team and a wagon and a set of harness and a breaking plow and a double shovel and clear him up a little piece of land and go to farming. You don't do that anymore. It takes $100 or $200,000 of money to start in on the thing now. Anything you're going to do to farm.
What's going to happen to this land when you're gone?
Well, it'll go to the boy. And when it's gone, it'll go to his boy.
You hope they'll keep farming it?
Huh?
You hope they'll keep farming it?
I hope they will. I know this one will.
Think you make a living off of it?
Well, I did and paid for it.
What price progress? What price the preservation of the past? And a price must be paid. If not by us, then by our children.
What do the young people want?
I'm not sure that I can answer that. Place in the sun, I would say, a little, a home, family, about what the old people wanted.
Do they want to stay here?
Most of the young people would rather stay here if there was any opportunity, if there's any employment. The young have read a book, so to speak, and they are trying to find an easier way to make a living than the pioneers did.
wrong with the The year?
Looks great to me.
I think pretty good looking gig.